Hello there you all. This will be a really quick video showing the difference between is operator and equal to operator. To be real quick, it can be summed up in this statement. The equal to operator compares the values of both the operands and checks for value equality. But on the other hand, the is operator checks whether both the operands refer to the same object or not. It gives different outputs when it is used with different types of objects. It behaves in a certain way when it is used on mutable objects and in a different way when it operates on immutable objects. To be clear, mutable objects are those objects whose value can be changed, and immutable objects are those objects whose value cannot be changed. Let's look at the code and then we will quickly understand what's happening behind the scenes. A is a variable which will store the value 5 and B is another variable which will also store the value 5. When we see if A is B, what we are checking is if the reference variable A and B are pointing to the same object or not. Since they are objects of integer class which are mutable, they both point to the same object which contains the value 5. So that's why the result is true here. And then in the next line of code we check if the value that they are storing are equal or not. Since they are equal, it returns true. Now we check it on strings which are immutable in nature. When we see if x is pointing to the same object or not, it returns false, because x and y are pointing to two different objects, two different separate objects, right? Don't worry if you don't understand it right now, you'll soon understand it in a minute or two. Then we check if both the reference variables which are pointing to their objects have the exact same value or not, using this equal to operator. Since they both contain the exact same values, it returns true. Now let's jump to visually see and understand what's happening behind the scenes here. As you can see here, both the variables are pointing towards the same objects. This is the nature of mutable objects in Python. If the value is same, they won't create two separate objects just to save memory. But with immutable objects, that's not the case. Every variable will point towards its own separate object because of the very fact that they are immutable objects. They can't be modified, you can only access them. So as you can see here, x and y point towards two different objects because strings are immutable. We will learn about strings in later videos, but since x and y point to two different objects, each of the two objects will have its own ID or address in the memory. So that's why when we see that if x is y, we can see that they are not, they aren't same because they are pointing to two different objects. So that's why it returns false when we apply the is operator. But since they both contain the exact same value, when we apply the equal to operator, it returns true. So that was just a show about what is the difference between the is and the equal to operator. If you understood it, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Till next time, cheers.